Hi again, folks. In this video, we're going to take a look once again where the teams stand in hits given this season. Coming up. As you all know, one of my favorite aspects of hockey is a physical game, okay? And I keep track of this throughout the year, so we're just about due again, I figure, for another video on hits and where we stand, and we know the Sabres are struggling in that department. So we're going to take a look at some of the top hitting teams in the league. Well, all the teams hits, but we're going to start with the top, work our way down like we did last time I made this video. And it just kind of got into my head. It's time to make one again, so we'll get started. I already put up the hits. I'm just going to put up the teams as we go down. Number one in the league at 28.4 per game is Ottawa. Actually, you know what? I'll put it over here. Looks better there. Yeah. Ottawa comes in at number one, 28.4. And folks, I'm just going to say it right off the bat. I might have been wrong picking Buffalo in front of Ottawa this year. I know we've been in front of them all season, but if they keep up this, they're going to pass us in the standings eventually, somehow, some way, because they have an identity. And that's it right there. They're physical. Number two, at 27.8, the Islanders come in at number two, 27.8. Number three, at 27.8, 27.2, sorry, is Boston. And as we know, the Bruins have been they've probably been top 10 in this the last 5 decades. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd have to really do some checking, but I would not be surprised if the Bruins have been top 10 for 5 decades. Every single decade. I wouldn't be surprised. Number four, at 26.8, come in the Champs. At 26.8. So there you go. There's two of the top four semifinalists. Two of the four semifinals are right there. There they are. Number five at 26.11. Some of them have to have more than one decimal. The Habs come in at 26.11. And what does that mean? Well, I know they're not as good as us this year, but their goaltending's a mess. They don't have a coach. They just don't. They don't have a coach. They had Granato as their coach. They'd be in front of us right now. I'll tell you right now. So they're 26.11. And keep in mind, here's 3 of the final 4 last year. There they are. 3 of the top 5 hitting teams in the league all made the semifinals last year. You can never convince me you don't need to have hitting. Coming in at number 6, at 26.06, the Penguins. And if you're wondering why they've overachieved this year, well, that's a big reason. They're a physical team, but they got a lot of Hall of Famers, and that's the type of team that no matter what, they're just going to be good. Unless we're down here doing nothing, then it's different. And not such a surprise of where this team is in the standings. Really, I, before the year, was going to pick them really high. I didn't do my standings before the year, but I would have picked these guys high. The Rangers, 26.02. They come in at number 7. And there you go. There's Gerard Gallant right there. That's why I wanted him as our coach, because I knew the Sabres would be somewhere in this area. You know, we would be somewhere. Let me get this over. I've got these too tight. Hold on, guys. It's too tight to the number. Yeah, I knew that the Rangers this year under Gallant would probably be better, because he preaches physical, then he preaches the rest after. Physical comes first with that coach. You can't get away with not hitting with Gerard Gallant as your coach. And without Torts. I would like Torts too as a potential candidate one day. If we ever change coaches again and we don't go with a veteran coach, really, I give up. I just do. I never give up, but I'm at the point now. It's like, come on, man, get some. Tortorella would have jumped at the chance to coach the Sabres. He would have jumped at it. This isn't a cheap shot, though, at Granato, but Granato's got to wake up soon because he's going to lose his job. All right, at 25.7, coming in at number 8, Florida. And we all know how good Florida is this year. Number 9 at 25.5, Chicago. That says a lot about them and their rebuild / retool that they're doing over there. Really, it's a rebuild. Says a lot about them being in the top 10. It does. Coming in at 10th. Now there you go. Seattle. Who have probably one of the most boring coaches in NHL history. Seattle's 10th. Seattle, an expansion team, is hitting more than we are. Drives me crazy. It does. All right, so where are we now? We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to just put a line between the top 10 each time. All right. Coming in at 11th, who've had a very good run so far this year, the Washington Capitals. You know, if you're in the first column, you're okay. You're okay. You can do what these teams do in a series. But if you're down here, forget it. Forget it. Coming in at 12th, Winnipeg at 23.87. Washington, 23.91. Winnipeg, 23.87, which I just touched the 8, and I just screwed up the 8. Hold on, guys. There we go. I just fixed it. Winnipeg, who probably are bigger than all these teams above them, I'm guessing. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Winnipeg's a really big team. All right, coming in at 13th. San Jose at 23.3. San Jose's, I won't say overachieved this year, but I guess some would argue they have. Here's a team I believe that's overachieved. They got 22.5. They come in at 14th. Nashville comes in at 14th right now. So that's says a lot about them. They got a lot of character, that team. 15th. You know what's ironic about this? Okay, it's the Flames, and they have 666 hits so far when I made this video. Go figure that one out. Calgary come in at 15th at 22.2. And rounding off the top column at 22.1 and 16th is Dallas. All right, now we're going to, everybody's saying, where's the Sabres? Don't worry, it's coming, guys, it's coming. All right, starting the board at 17. You know what, I'm going to mark, I just want to do something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I just want to chop it up in segments of 10. Just makes it easier for me visually. All right, coming in at 17th, the Minnesota Wild have 21.9 hits per game. Here's a team that's hard to figure out. It really is. All right, coming in at 18th, the Vancouver Canucks, 21.7. I believe they've jumped a few spots than the last time. I'd have to go back and check the video. 21.7 for Vancouver. Next, who used to be probably number 1 in this department back in the heyday in the 70s. Coming in at 19th, the Philadelphia Flyers. They are 19th. 20th. Oh, we're right. I made a mistake there. My bad. Yeah, my bad. Coming in at 20th, Arizona at 21.1. So Arizona has been more physical than us this year, guys. Period. They just have been. You know, so we don't have any right to make fun of anybody, really. You know, any of Sabres fans want to jump in Arizona, I really wouldn't recommend it. They're more physical than we are, but they have been all year. So there we are, 6, 10, 20. Right, all right, 21st. 20.91, a team that's probably been the biggest surprise in the NHL this season. Anaheim at 20.91 hits per game. That tells me, honestly, that Anaheim's going to come down to reality, that they're this low in hitting. That's what it tells me. And here's another team that I thought would do much better this year. Really much better. I thought this team would win 50 games, as I said in a previous video. No more. Because they're hiding behind their power play the way we did last year and the beginning of this year. Edmonton at 20.90. Edmonton, you take away their power play, they're beatable by anybody. Anybody can beat them. This is the problem. So I don't know what they're going to do in Edmonton. I don't know how they're going to keep McDavid happy. I just don't see it. I really don't. Don't think he's not watching Jack go somewhere else and have a more playoff success than him, perhaps. Just saying. All right. 23rd at 20.5 is, well, I think it's, I always get mixed up black and red with this logo. God. The Hurricanes come in at 23rd at 20.5. At 24th at 20.2, the Los Angeles Kings. And I would say the rebuilding Los Angeles Kings, but still. These are teams that really, guys, need to step it up if they're going to do anything. Because I'm going to tell you right off the bat, whoever is in this column is most likely going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Most likely. Coming in at 25th and a repeat offender in this category, Colorado. 19 hits a game. It's not going to cut it. They're a little better than last year. Last year they had something like 16 per game, I think it was. It was really bad what they had last year. When you're down here, I don't see you as a playoff threat. I just don't. And it's nothing against the franchise, the players. I think this is a good, exciting team with a lot of talent. Just misguided a little, you know. Now, 25th, 26th at 18.7, the St. Louis Blues. There come the Blues. They've had their cup. They're calm now and relaxed. But you might recall when they played the Bruins, try to remember how, you know, they had a physical edge to them. Doesn't look like it now. So they have 18.7. So here we are at 27th. These are the bottom feeders now. 27th, 18.61 hits a game, Toronto. And if this is where Toronto is going into the playoffs, I'm going to write them off again because they're not going to be able to last in a series that's physical. They won't be able to last against a team like Tampa Bay when Tampa's laying the body on them. They just won't be able to. They're not used to it. Don't forget, regular season doesn't mean anything, really. I've learned that so long ago. It doesn't mean nothing. Not come playoff time. Regular season is where you work to get into the real games eventually, right? So this is where these teams stand. Now, here we are at 28th place. New Jersey come in at 18.57, and it's a young team. Like us, it's a young team. This team needs to get more physical, and I'm surprised with Lindy as their coach that they're not a little more physical than they are. I really am. But that's where they are at this moment, and I'm pretty sure Lindy is pulling out his gray hairs, I would say, right now. Coming in at number 29, Vegas, 18.3. Vegas are all in this year, guys. It's all in. This is all in for Vegas this year. If they don't do it this year, that's it. They're done. I really do believe that Vegas just, they're not going to have a winning team with a bunch of 30-year-olds and no depth. It's just not going to happen. Nobody can do that. Nobody. Except Detroit when they were winning cups. But they were always plucking Hall of Famers with no salary cap, try to remember, too. There's salary cap now. So 18.3 for Vegas at 29. Number 30th, another young team, Detroit. And Detroit also, I think, will fall. I think they will. I think a slump is coming for Detroit eventually, like a 1-8-1 slump. I do believe there will be a slump coming for Detroit because they're not very physical. Their goaltending's been solid. They got good young players, no doubt about that, but nothing jaw-dropping when you consider how many years Yzerman and the Yzer plan, as they're calling it, which I think is silly. It's like copy-pasting Toronto saying the Shannon plan, but whatever. Over in Detroit, no, like sooner or later, the Detroit fans are going to say, well, when is something going to happen? That's what's going to happen soon enough. Don't think it won't. It will. It's a smart fan base. Number 31, with just 16 hits a game, Columbus. But if you look, young team. Team due to break through. All these teams have not adjusted their game. really. And none of these teams, I believe, will win the Stanley Cup this year. None. Colorado's the only possible, and Toronto, maybe. And I can't see it with these kind of numbers. I just can't, because there's too much of an adjustment. It's too much for them to understand. When you're already playing this way, you're ready come playoff time. And dead last, once again, the Sabres come in dead last at a horrible 14.5 hits a game. We're a full hit and a half behind 31st. And look at this. We're like 3 hits behind per game average. And we're talking, even here's not, three goes way up to here. You know, like 3 full hits a game just from getting out of the cellar. And yeah, I like to expose what's going on too. This isn't just about the Sabres. Oh, it's just fun. I like doing this because it's one of my favorite stats in hockey. It is. It tells me a lot about a team's future. This is going to be a good hockey team in Ottawa. This is going to be a good team for sure. They got a lot of young studs on this team, and they already got the identity happening. They're physical. I'm not even crazy about their coach, really. I've seen this guy in interviews. He seems like he doesn't have a clue, but obviously I like what he's doing there. I do. And, you know, you look at teams like Edmonton and you just scratch your head. You don't get it because there should be a little more aggression when you got some of the best players in the world on your team. You just should be. But look, the Rangers are on the right path. Ottawa's on the right path, no doubt about it. Islanders, getting older. They're getting older, but that identity won't change. You're going to see the Islanders drop down to about here eventually as they get really too old. You watch. I guarantee that's what will happen. This will drop to about down here. Then you look at other teams here, but most likely the team that's going to win the Stanley Cup is already on that side, really. I mean, unless Colorado and Toronto bring it up another level come playoff time, because they can't be doing these kind of hits in a playoff game. That's not what the playoffs is about, as we all know. I mean, do you remember that game last year? It was Vegas. Was it Vegas and Mini? I think it was Vegas and Mini. I think it was. I can't remember. But there was a game, it was like 70 hits to 60. It was like, good Lord. And then Minnesota, after that, went like this with the hits, eventually lost the series. And that's always what happens in the playoffs. So for me, I'm a big believer in this. I know some of you aren't. I am. I really believe that this is the way to go to get your team groomed for the playoffs eventually, is have a mentality of playing physical. And you know what? Physical hockey is just more exciting hockey to watch, guys. This drives me nuts. That drives me crazy. That statistic. It drives me nuts. Probably that's the motivation I made this video. All right, that's it for this one. See you in the next one, guys.